Welcome back to Rad Health, the podcast where we have the conversations you wish you had with your doctor. I'm your host, Dr. Dan Cooper. I am a chiropractic and functional medicine physician, a husband, a father, a combat veteran, and a dude who loves primal stuff and believes that nature is the answer to all of our health woes. So, what I would like to talk about today came to me, a buddy sent me a post, as a lot of things happen these days. You see some on social media, but a buddy sent me a post and I'll actually just read it to you. So the post had to do with medicine and what is often neglected. So, and particularly the biohackers like this, there's this genre of biohackers, which is supposed to be this elevation of health generation science and action. And so the little quip that was at the top here says biohacks and tech are cool, but Mother Nature is the most perfect and most potent medicine. 99% of protocols I see don't prescribe these: morning sunrise and evening sunset, distance from non-native EMFs, more time in nature, less time in front of screens, daily grounding outside barefoot. So what this bullet pointed list of 5 things is referencing is lifestyle medicine. It is the things that you can do just in your lifestyle that are free and part of your daily everyday routine, because consistency is key. Your daily routine that result in these positive health benefits. So why are we not doing these things? And why are they not in protocols, which is actually more of an interesting question. It reminds me of what I've always said about functional medicine. And so functional medicine, you have this branch of the healing arts where you do typically more extensive testing, but within that testing, you're looking for patterns within the results to evaluate how a system is functioning. Now, then how you treat that system is through natural means. Very often in functional medicine protocols, it's very supplement heavy. And I always thought, maybe it's because of my background prior to getting to chiropractic college, before doing any of my functional medicine education, my background was very lifestyle medicine oriented. I didn't have doctors in the family. I didn't have alternative practitioners in the family. I didn't have all that stuff. And so when I was seeking out these, performance optimization benefits or whatever health benefit I was seeking out, I just sought out. And the things that I found, being a non-physician, not having physicians around me, were lifestyle-oriented things that could further me toward whatever goal I was seeking. And this is kind of my base. And so when I got into functional medicine, I already saw the grand benefit of all this lifestyle medicine, which is actually its own branded term now, lifestyle medicine. But I saw the benefit of these lifestyle medicine components to add into any sort of functional medicine protocol. So when I would give you a functional medicine protocol, it was going to be something that is a lifestyle medicine base with these traditional functional medicine protocols on top as supplemental to an idealized lifestyle versus these supplements supplanting an idealized lifestyle. So these are supportive protocols that build upon each other, creating an amplified effect. Sounds kind of ideal, right? Well, it is. It happens to work way faster and they're more sustainable, and the results are, so long as the lifestyle is maintained, are lifetime results, which is awesome. So, which is what you want out of a physician. You want to change your life so that you don't have to see them again. Anyway, it made me start to think about a conversation I had with my wife a while ago. I don't know how long ago this was. And she some of her past, she was a pretty hardcore hippie for a long time. And I'm not saying she's not a hardcore hippie now, but she's whatever. You guys meet her and you'll see her on some of these episodes sometimes and you'll make your own evaluations, but she's awesome. And a conversation we had together had veins of this running through it. And it came about because I believe she was asked to go to, or she found out about this event. It was a yoga DJ, and I saw the flyer for it. And in there, some of the verbiage was that the medicine is their art. And of course I have oh God, I'm eye rolling at it just because of where I come from. And so the verbiage irked me, but then I started thinking about it. I'm like, why wouldn't this art, which is music, be medicine? Because if you're thinking, I'd actually offer this question to you. When you hear the word medicine, what does it mean to you? Are you thinking it has to be a chemical medicine? Because if that's what you're thinking that medicine is a chemical construct that then is taken in by the person and it has whatever effects it has, fine, you're talking about pharmaceuticals. But when you have that thought process of the chemical components are the medicine, and you understand physiology, when you have these lifestyle inputs, your body produces the chemicals. So your body will produce chemical cascades that result in health-generating effects. And your body can produce healing and health-generating chemicals. Maybe these positive experiences are medicine. And maybe this yoga DJ, maybe I shouldn't scoff at the verbiage of our art is medicine. Because if the way you interpret that art is, very positive, you have these, how do I describe that? If you have these thoughts about the art that are relaxing, maybe they're uplifting, maybe they are wonder inspiring. And so it causes you to go down these cognitive and mental paths that result in a chemical cascade of health generation and healing. Maybe the art is medicine. So that is interesting. I pose the question, I give you my opinion about it, but it's worth thinking about. And if you do consider medicine to be possibly produced within you by the experiences that you interact with, the experiences you have, and the effects they then have on you, lifestyle medicine takes on a whole new meaning, where it's actually, closer to you taking pills, because you are altering your physiology, you're altering your chemical production within yourself to exert an action toward an end. And that is medicine. So you've heard of, somebody will say like, this is just as good as medicine, or it's as good as whatever, they'll insert a drug. And if you consider depression, it's a great example. People talk about it a lot. And so you have Prozac. Let's just go with the probably most common drug for this, Prozac. And what do we hope to achieve with this? Uplifting of mood, calming of anxiety, things like this, right? And what do we know in lifestyle medicine that has as good or better effects consistently to your leading depression drug, which, by the way, doesn't have the side effect of suicidal thoughts and actions when you cease taking the drug? So things like making sure you're sufficient vitamin D, exercise, being outside. These are all things that you could do that one activity, exercise outside, and now you're also going to produce vitamin D, as long as you have skin exposure that's not full of sunblock. And so now you just had 3 natural therapies rolled into one action, and their effects are as good or better than antidepressants. That's medicine. So I love the idea of lifestyle medicine. And I really pose this to you as something to consider in your life, to look inward, see what you're doing on a daily basis, because as I mentioned, consistency is so essential for any of this to work. That we kind of live in this, if you're living in the normal Western medicine world, we're very used to a pill. And there's a little quip moniker, there's a pill for every ill. Since we live in a world where that is so commonplace, we kind of expect this quick fix. Maybe you think, I do one bout of exercise and it should work and then I'm done. My life is fixed because I did this one bout versus, analogous to I took this one pill. But it's not how it works. You alter the lifestyles, you add this habit, and then it works for as long as you do the habit. And in a lot of cases, it'll last for a good duration after you finish the habit if you've done it for a long enough time. But let's not get into being a quitter. So keep the positive habit. That is what I wanted you to ponder. Take a look in your life and see what your daily habits equal. Are the things that you do on a regular basis throughout your day health promoting, healing in nature, or are they detrimental to health? Do they promote pain, inflammation, degradation? And if you don't know, ask somebody who knows. Maybe that's me, maybe that's somebody else, but find a trusted partner in your natural health journey. And when you don't know, ask the question. I fall victim to this a lot, where I don't like asking for help. That's been just, I grew up that way. I actually just talked to a buddy about that today. And it's stupid. Not asking for help is so dumb. If you don't know something and you know somebody who does or has a better idea than you do, ask them. And you can always mold the answer to fit your lifestyle. And then as it incorporates, mold it again. You can mold your habits 100 times in a year. It doesn't matter as long as you're molding it in the direction of towards your goals. So it's a positive direction. Who cares? Mold them. But ask for help. There's nothing really that is more valuable than doing the introspective work and then doing the action. So actually taking action on the information that you gain during this introspective work to better your life. When you better your life, you better all of your interactions. When you are a better version of yourself, every interaction that you have with the people around you is better. You're happier. They become happier. We have this really cool thing about personal interactions where we mirror each other. You may notice this, and if you think back, you have a friend, maybe they do a certain posture a lot, or they talk a certain way, and you'll notice a couple months after you hang out with this person a lot, and you're like, I'm doing the same stuff. So interesting. And it's a way biologically for us to fit in, for us to be a part of a group. We genetically want to be a part of a group. It's part of humanity. We survive better when we're part of a clan. And so your behaviors will mold to become like those around you. So have great people around you, but be around people who are great. And your nervous system picks up on that stuff. Lifestyle medicine is awesome. And investigate your life. Investigate your life to see where you can make some improvements. And if you want to use the Kaizen method, which is a method that makes these things easy, it's not very stressing for you because a lot of people have this all or nothing mentality. If I don't do everything right, then why should I do anything? That's trash, by the way. Unless you're in a terminal illness where you're going to die soon and you have to do everything right now, that's a separate case. But in most people's lives, you've got the leeway to add a habit or two. Do those habits until they become a part of your everyday life. And once that's the case, introspect again, do a little evaluation, see where you can add something else in, add another habit that's better than the one you had before. Maybe in a different area in your life, but you add something else positive. And then you do those things until it becomes normal part of your life, add another. And before you know it, you've got this just lifestyle of habits that are spectacular. And you realize, like, I have created a completely different self. How exciting is that? I, on purpose, through a very chill method of little step-by-step method, I became who I want to be. That's very empowering. It's what I wish for you, to become the best version of yourself on your own volition. Guys, if you liked this topic, if you liked the information that I tossed out here, please like, subscribe, comment if you like it. And if you know somebody who would benefit from this information, please share the podcast. That is how we're going to grow the podcast and get it out to more people. I love you. I'll see you in the next one.